it feels like the hero is incredibly ineffective. And now picking up the Shadow Demon, we saw this hero played against Ursa as well, where now, Sammy Boy, you have to be a little bit careful when you do decide to engage. The Enrage is pretty good versus most of these heroes, and you don't have that hero like the Mirana, like the Lina, to chain disable you out of that spear. So the lane will be slightly weaker from Hokori, but again, I don't think that's what they're focusing on. With this Treant, with this SD, they want a very good team fight. They want you to sort of play into their timings. And again, we're going to see Vitaly sort of be replied upon. Yeah, I saw RoboZ and I got confused for a second. That is not analog, but we'll talk about that in a bit, I suppose. But yeah, Vitaly has just been such a core player for their team. So if they get those team fight spells off and they're able to use them in succession, Hokori, this is exactly what their game plan is.
Yeah, we will get to that stand-in situation once the draft's sort of concluded here, then we can talk about that. For now, though, for Zoomers, going in with the Pangolier with the third pick, the Invoker coming out with the fourth. So we saw Papatuti on this hero earlier today. It wasn't quite able to really get a whole lot done with it, but Gunnar presumably going to be maybe in a slightly better position, and we'll see really how well he can control that middle lane. As of right now, we don't exactly know what that mid matchup is going to be, so that is going to be a bit of a question mark for us. But Invoker in Gunnar's hands is something that's going to be incredibly familiar and comfortable for four Zoomers no matter what.
Yeah, and it is blind, but yet again, we've seen this hero first phase. People really don't care what it's playing up against as long as it might not be that TA. I don't think we're going to see either team ban out that TA, but that's something you do have to be careful of typically when you pick the Invoker. But this time around, I don't think Hokori is a team that could really swing it. Usually when we would see Analog playing, he likes to play that Wind, he likes to play that Ember Spirit, he likes to get very active on the map, and I can imagine that's what 4Zoomers are thinking. They need to ban out one of those more mobile play-esque heroes. You don't want to get taken out early on, and with RoboZ slotting in, stand-in, maybe we'll see the Void Spirit banned out because that is one of his top comfort heroes where you're going to be rotated on. You're going to need to be worried. And again, another hero that pairs well with the Medusa where you have that Aether Remnant to make them face you. So can only imagine that's what they're sort of looking at this game.
And we'll see if four Zoomers do opt for that ban. They started phase 3 though, actually with the removal of the Venomancer. So not sure if they're worried about the Mars going mid or if they think that this would be some sort of mid-Veno play, which doesn't make quite as much sense. I think it's more about the lane swap instead, but we do see that Void Spirit eventually going to be banned away. So even with the stand-in situation, 4Zoomers have kind of done their homework on that opposing player. So not going to let RoboZ in onto one of those more comfortable picks. Hokori, meanwhile, closing out the bans with the removal of both Hoodwink and Dark Willow, trying to make sure Ocean doesn't get that sort of impact hero as we see the Jakiro come out for them.
It's very interesting, so that means that we're probably going to see Ocean shifted over to that Enchantress, but really comfortable hero. Yeah, you hear the voice lines. Can't believe what we're seeing. We have not seen a Jakiro in quite a while. Really no contestation, nothing of the sort, but versus Shadow Demon, you always have that ice path. It feels like if you try to save them with the disruption, you're always going to have that secondary disabled. At the same time, you can always throw down the Macropyre, throw down the ice path into the Mars arena, into the Medusa. It's one of those long range supports that we really don't see get picked up nearly as much as I think it does, but it should still be valued, and I think 4Zoomers have definitely picked it up in a game where it does feel pretty valuable. One of the few heroes as well that's going to be able to look for that tree protector in the trees, so you really just get a lot of vision. But then at the same time, Hokori, they're punishing your low lockdown lineup with another Spirit, Storm Spirit. Not as good, not as ideal as that Void would have been, but still something that they're definitely going to be able to play around.
And a hero that RoboZ can definitely sort of take advantage of. So you've heard us sort of referencing it a couple of times now. RoboZ is the stand-in for the Hokori side. They actually parted ways with Analog, I believe, just a couple of days ago. So Analog is out of the lineup. RoboZ very graciously sort of stepping in to help them out here. And I mean, a very high skill here, or high skill player rather, in RoboZ there. So for Zoomers, at least sort of able to ban away something like that Void Spirit, but they do still put him on someone who can have an incredibly high impact and can be very aggressive for this Hokori lineup.
Yeah, and this time around, again, Hokori, they did their homework. They banned out the Lesh. Really feels like that is Forzumer's most successful strategy. We've seen them flex that hero around with Razor Viper, but Forzumers have almost, they've left the Viper in the dust. They don't really care about it anymore. And at the same time, Hokori, I don't think they wanted to reach for that puck. You wanted to play more into RoboZ's hero pool. So the Storm Spirit, it's going to feel good. It's going to feel impactful. And really, it feels like the one hero that you pick it up because it is a very free Storm game, but that's the one hero where you have to be careful with how you engage in these team fights because that is Hikori's bread and butter. These team fights go well, they are going to get objectives, they are going to win around the map. Whereas for Zoomers, they've got little, small, more pick-off play heroes. They've got the 4th position Enchantress. They're really going to need to be enabled by Brax's Pango. If they can get those skirmishes going and they can slow down Hikori, then at the same time, I can completely believe four Zoomers are going to snowball this one, especially with the Ursa able to take those early Roshans.
Yeah, absolutely a scenario in which four Zoomers are, like you said, going to be looking for smaller but more consistent and more frequent plays in onto their opponent here to try and really keep Hikori off balance. Speaking of off balance, we do have an early DC here. RoboZ did drop out, so gonna have to wait for him to get back in before we get this one underway, but very much a clash of styles here. Four Zoomers are going to be in and out, hit and run kind of tactics, try and go fast and hard as early as possible, whereas Hokori might have to sort of wait things out a little bit. That Medusa will need time to sort of catch up, but that's where you hope RoboZ is going to be able to sort of get off to a strong start and then effectively between himself and Vitali kind of carry the torch and pass it off later on once the Medusa's ready to go.
Yeah, definitely. And I just hope, I know a lot of players from Hikori are playing on Peru, but we are in US East, so that won't come into effect. I also know that I think all the games are to be played on US East. We saw them play on Peru the other day, really just when they were playing versus Ego Boys, because I think Ego Boys also had that preference. But RoboZ, again, individually, fantastic young player. Honestly, one of the best in the region. We see he's constantly proving himself. They just want to do the best they can. But having Elton, or looking at the rest of the lineup, having El Misho on the Shadow Demon is going to feel a little bit strange. We love to see him on his Nyx Assassin, on his Tusk, so he is definitely taking a step back to instead, again, rely on the other aspects of the game, trying to get the stacks, trying to get those runes, playing more of a 1437 style of this pos 4 support where the jungle's right there. If you're not stacking those camps, it does feel like you're sort of wasting your time, especially on a hero like Shadow Demon, and hopefully he won't be taking them. I feel like Lumiere is the kind of player that is going to say, no, 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 that's a 4 stack. I'm going to farm that. You just wait. Whereas we saw 1437 the other day, stacking and farming really for himself. And even though they won that game, that was one of their more dicey affairs, especially when they were in that situation where they needed a 1-1 the cut.
Yeah, especially, I mean, we were talking about it throughout that entire game, the fact that we were waiting for that Aghanim's play from 1437 to eventually sort of pan out, and eventually it did, but there was a lot of sort of nervousness and nail biting up to that point. So, El Misho, to be honest, really not that kind of player. He is much more sort of oriented towards setting his teammates up, and as much as the sort of multi-charge purge could be useful against heroes like the Ursa or something along those lines, I don't really think that they're going to prioritize him too heavily, especially considering the other cores that they have. Medusa and Storm really do need to get themselves going. Shifting them back so that the Shadow Demon can go for an early Ags rush, as 1437 did, is very likely to sort of hurt them more than it would help. So, should be seeing a more standard sort of play from El Misho, but as you said before, it is going to be a little bit strange seeing him on a hero that is presumably going to be less active. He is normally that guy who just sort of roams around, looks to always be on the offensive, and to a certain extent you can still attempt to make rotations on the Shadow Demon, but not quite to the same extent as something like a Tusk or a Tiny or a Nyx Assassin. So we'll see what that does to really affect Hokori's overall sort of game plan here. If El Misho's not the one making those early moves, they really don't have anyone else who can do so until later when the Storm and the Mars are sort of built up.
And really, just props to Hokori. I don't know if anyone noticed, but they only had 20 seconds of draft time. They really got that draft together, and it felt like they didn't give up too much of an advantage. And of course, leading with Mars Medusa, this is something that they have done before, but everything else just coming together, not leading off this series with the forfeit win, really just props to them for figuring out something, you know? It's I would have been very sad if this was a 1-0 going into game two already. That would have been pretty unfortunate. And once they get into the game, even though the game is pretty delayed, they do have 15 minutes of pause time, I believe. I wonder if there's going to be some admin decision on that. But yeah, we're just kind of stuck in a waiting game now. They did pull Robo Z. It feels like pretty much out of nowhere. So I wouldn't be too surprised if he does need a little bit of time to get set up.
Yeah, and as you said, sort of props to them. There was some confusion about the schedule overall. We're not going to get too deep into it, but Hokori were a little bit late, and they were eventually able to get in here. They put that draft together, as you said, with some serious time penalties being applied to them, and presumably we are going to be able to get game one off and going here. RoboZ still disconnected, I believe. Yeah, Husky sort of asked about that pause time. Haven't gotten word back from the admin just yet, but at least we are into the server. Not entirely sure how quickly RoboZ is going to be able to return, but the fact that he was able to sort of step in for them on what seems like short notice is very much admirable. So we would like to see him play. That would be quite nice, especially on that Storm Spirit, a hero that we have seen him sort of do good things on previously in that South American region. But still not back in just yet. But until we hear anything from the admin at all, I don't think we have much to be concerned about. That pause time is still going to be presumably holding steady. Although for Zoomers, yeah, they
Yeah,
would
they
like a
didn't
bit
give
of an
a
explanation.
reason. We didn't hear a sec or an RC or a DC, so they just want answers. They just want to know what's happening. I can definitely see maybe somebody logged into RoboZ's account and just got the computer warm for him. Maybe he's still out and about. Who knows? We can't really know at this point. But issues for higher powers.
Yeah, that's above our pay grade here as the casters. We just have to wait it out. Gunner, invoking the power of the admin here, so we'll see if there's any ruling on that front. But yeah, Hokori still having some issues here. As ET was mentioning before, this is being played on the US East server, which for most players playing out of that Peruvian region is really not a massive issue a lot of the time, but a lot of the time doesn't mean all the time. Obviously, we have an issue here for RoboZ as the admin has let us know, I believe that was 4 minutes, he said, of pause time remaining. So now we're getting down to the crunch a little bit here. Hokori got RoboZ in there in time to sort of start the game, but now if they run out of time, they may be forced to resume the match. Don't know if the admin would allow for Zoomers to maybe use up their own time.
Ooh,
Oh,
Sammy
come on,
boy,
man. Don't...
throwing the gauntlet.
The PPD special. I don't know about that one. Never say that, just in case. If it goes bad, you're gonna...
Oh yeah,
There it is.
teammates apologizing for him, but yeah, Sammy Boy is not happy. Especially, yeah, you wait 40 minutes, you get all the way through the draft, you're pretty happy with what you got.
Admin, please mute Sam. Oh, man. Uh, don't show this on stream. Don't worry, Gunner. It's definitely not on stream. We got you.
But yeah, not the best look, but again, it is a little bit crazy having to wait 45 minutes. We are almost sort of rolling up on what Hokori thought was a 7 minute or 7 o'clock start time for them. So yeah, it's a little bit awkward. It really would feel like worst case scenario, the game just has to resume or they have to GG out. And yeah, I'm same with Gunner here. I just want answers, but RoboZ is back in. Fingers crossed, 2 minutes remaining. So here's hoping we can get a game together.
Yeah, he is back in, but if he continues to have problems, that timer is sort of running low. But it looks like we're good. Hokori say that they're ready, so hopefully we have all of our issues in the past now, and we can get this game going and not have any sort of further delays. So after a rather lengthy wait, welcome, folks, to Game 1 of this second series of the day. We are jumping right into it. 4 Zoomers smoking out of their base already. Not sure if this is just straight up for the early wards or if they're actually looking for a play. Actually, right now, it does look like it's just the ward play because they're a little bit spread out across the lanes. So just going to try and drop down some early vision here, see what they could find. Maybe if somebody actually ventures too far forward, they could punish it, but I don't think we're seeing that from Hokori. Lumiere and Gardic are already just sort of maneuvering their way to their lane.
And an interesting note is that Ocean is the one actually playing this Jakiro, so I wonder if we are going to see that Jakiro put into the pos 4 role, or if this is more or less just going to be Husky having the comfort pick, wanting to play as Enchantress, and then we'll see if they play that sort of 4.5. Because Jakiro, at the end of the day, he is not a 4 position. He is able to do a lot with farm, but you don't really have the easiest time getting it. Having your levels isn't the most impactful. It's not your Rubik, it's not your AA where you hit level 6 and suddenly your game changes. So we might see both supports sort of getting farmed this time around.
Yeah, as you said, the Jakiro can certainly do a lot with the farm, but at the end of the day, you're still not a very mobile hero. You really don't slot into that 4 role. That's where the Enchantress would be a little bit better off. So we'll see exactly how things get distributed between them as we do get things underway here. Bounty runes looking like just a straight up 2-2
And
split,
look,
although...
they're going to bully this Dusa.
Ooh.
This is the plan.
Oh, okay.
Let's see it.
This
Lumiere,
gonna
he
be
has
good.
no idea what's about to happen.
Oh man, there's a swashbuckle. Dual breath coming out. Lumiere, actually, this is going to be more than harassment. If he's not careful, they might just... I was going to say might just take him down. Yeah, he should be okay. Gardick's coming in now, too.
Still, though, because you got it on the wave, unfortunately, I think the Medusa will be able to deny the range creep, but the wave is going to push immediately into you. So Lumiere really has to get some denies here. I think he will be able to get most. Nice from Brax.
Good play in with the swashbuckle, taking that range creep away. Meanwhile, Gardick and Ocean still sort of just duking it out here, trading some early damage between those two supports. So they're going to be sort of stepping out of lane for a while, just looking to give some extra experience over to their respective cores. So we'll have to see, though, what Gardick can do in terms of lane equilibrium here. As you mentioned, things could be sort of pushing, well, at least for now, slightly out of Lumiere's control, although Gardick's going to come in here now for the Leech Seed, just looking to harass Brax that little bit more, and this is what you pick the Treant for. He is just going to get in here, try and dish out as much damage as he can, as 4 Zoomers, as of right now, don't really have a great response. In a couple of levels, I think that they can sort of get something done, but for now they just sort of have to sit back and bide their time, so to speak.
And it will be very obnoxious for Gardick. As soon as you hit that level 2 on Ocean, you'll have that Liquid Fire. It's going to be even more difficult for you to get those right clicks. And not having boots, this is actually a little bit of a problem for him.
And he's dead. Okay, wow. Thought 4 Zoomers might have to wait, but yeah, if Gardick doesn't have the maneuverability, the move speed to get out of that, they just push straight in onto him. So recognizing that they had an opportunity early, and Gardick is going to pay for it. Lumiere's at least able to continue farming here, but that is first blood to 4 Zoomers down in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and they have to be cautious. Lumiere, yeah, Pengu's just so annoying. What an obnoxious hero. Love the hero, but Brax is just able to really cause Lumiere to use spells to get last hits, where if he runs out of mana, it's these early levels where you don't really have a good answer to get it back, aside from just constantly hitting heroes in the range creep. So if he's out of that snake range, Lumiere is kind of going to be out of luck when it comes to last hitting.
We'll see if he can sort of maintain that positioning. Gardick is going to have to sort of help out on that front. We do see him continuing to get in there with the Leech Seed, but right now it's just level 1. It's really not going to be all that significant. It's maybe slightly annoying, but it's not stopping Brax as they're going in. They're going to hit up that Medusa. The Mana Shield is active, but Ocean's coming in here as well with the DOT, and Lumiere, and he's going to lose all of his mana. He should survive this, but this is not a great situation. He's effectively just getting sort of shoved back in this lane. Salve will be passed to him by Gardick, but regen here for Hokori is really starting to run dry. We're only about 3 minutes into the lane.
Yeah, and while you did get that Band of Elven Skin before the treads on Medusa, so he is hitting pretty hard. But again, you're out of that mana snake range where you can't cast the Mystic Snake, and you can't get last hits really because of it, or you're gonna have to put yourself at a pretty great risk to get anything going for you. And Brax, once he hits that level 2 swash, you see him go for the 1-1-1 build, just because, again, they've completely countered Treant Protector in this lane. There isn't much that Gardick can do to sort of zone out both these heroes. As you see, every single time he goes for the right clicks, he just gets met with a dual breath.
Yep. Not going to be able to really trade out in the way that he wants. As Brax goes in for that swashbuckle once again, Lumiere, I mean, just sort of being kept down continuously. He did get a snake off that time at least, so we do see sort of 1 or 2 coming out from him, but those snakes, to this point, few and far between, so it is a bit of a struggle for Lumiere to this point. Meanwhile, a bit of a rotation in from El Misho there. He was helping Robo Z secure the rune, but as he steps out, Vitali does get pushed back a little bit here. Sammy just trying to take control of this lane as early as possible, and you take a look at his last hit count. He's doing insanely well here. 26 and 6 for that Ursa. So Samurai Boy's having a whole lot of fun. The Enchantress is able to set him up, but over in the bottom lane, Ocean does get taken down. He'll trade out for Lumiere, though, as Brax was able to make that play happen.
He's got the Orb of Corrosion.
Oh,
he doesn't have Weech Seed. He's got a stick, but it's going to be close. But Brax doesn't even want to give up the advantage. But yeah, Lumiere, if you ever push in the wave with that Mystic Snake, which, again, you have to because in this lane you're not getting those last hits, you're just going to be that much farther up, and you're not a very fast snake. At least he has boots now.
That'll at least help him out a little bit, but I mean, the easiest solution to your problems there with the lack of mobility would be to not be that far forward, but that's not really possible right now. Gardic is going to have to sort of get this lane back under control. We do see him getting off the pull here. He's going to try to pull through. See if he can actually time this up. If he can, this could sort of solve their issues right now. And I think he has the timing right. Wait, okay, the range creep is going to get off there, but the melee are at least going to be pulled over, so Equilibrium pulled all the way back under the tower, and Lumiere should have maybe a slightly easier time avoiding that sort of positional mistake.
Well, and I've been watching El Misho. Really, Vitaly, he's not having a great time. At least he is able to, I was going to say not die here, but there might be a little bit too much of an advantage. I think Sammy Boy just got him.
Does he have the
a little bit deep, but
one more second. I'm not sure he actually needs it.
Oh, nice rebuke.
Earthshock has to be used. Husky, though, taking some tower shots.
After. Really clean.
And attendance, wow. That's quite a bit of healing as Husky's able to walk away, so...
Well, you look at this 6-stack. Let's see if El Misho gets this. I don't actually know if he can, but he's really the only one that can farm this, so I wonder if he's just going to take it pretty soon now. Of course, ideally he'd want to save it for his teammates, but I don't know who can really take that. Maybe the Storm? That it still feels pretty crazy.
It would take a long time to get through that as Gunnar rotated his way down bot, able to get himself a quick pick onto the Treant, and will now return to that middle lane. But yeah, if RoboZ's going to do it, he's got 3 points up in the Static Remnant, but that's going to take...
Yeah, Misha's going to farm it.
Yeah, okay.
I don't mind it in this situation. Whenever we saw 1437 take it before, it was not stacked nearly as hard, and maybe RoboZ just comes for the XP a little bit. Oh boy.
But yeah, look, I am
there.
Very
all the
concerned.
big ones
Okay.
For the Robo.
Misho gets it. RoboZ should be able to clean up the, as you said, the big ones to get the majority of the gold from this play. So that is a pretty fantastic split there. El Misho able to sort of set that one up. He gets some for himself and still leaves plenty for his core. Meanwhile, we've got a couple of bounties sitting here in case the Storm needs sort of an emergency top-off on those bottle charges. So, I mean, this west side jungle is just looking like a bank for for Hokori, excuse me. So, RoboZ going to rotate his way in again, using the Arcane Rune here to try and build himself up. He is level 7, so he's got the damage, he's got the ball lightning. Maybe he could make some plays here as well. The question would be, where exactly would he rotate to? Could make his way top. I don't really think he wants to do too much mid as Lumiere sort of taking over that lane, but now this is going to be just fine for Gunnar. He's just going to keep on going in with that sort of Tornado EMP combo, and the Medusa's not going to have a fun time against it. Speaking of a not fun time, Gardic...
Yeah.
Alone
He's
down.
He's been hung out to dry. Yeah, there's not much he can do about that. And this is a rotation that Hokori likes to make, where Lumiere takes over the mid lane, and maybe you try to get a little bit active jungle up on your mid laner. And again, RoboZ, when he plays the Wind, or rather when Analog was playing the Wind or the Ember Spirit, this is exactly what they tried to do, but him and Vitaly haven't been able to meet up yet, and Gunnar just continues to be annoying.
And he's still just harassing up this Storm, and
he's not a mana, he can't zip again.
Can he actually get this kill? He needs 1 or 2 more hits. He's got it.
Him.
That cannot be allowed to happen. Gunnar just goes in solo and snipes out the Storm Spirit in the jungle. And while that was happening, the tier 1 tower was taken down bot. Ocean's starting to get it going here. Only 1 point up in the Liquid Fire, but between himself and Brax, they push quite nicely, and now they're looking for more. They've spotted out Lumiere in the middle lane. They hit him up with the Cold Snap into the Ice Path, but Lumiere will be able to survive, but look at the mass TPs coming in here. They are looking to protect their teammate. Now they want in onto Husky, as that Enchantress is going to get hit up, taking some damage from the tower as well. Will fall, but now Gunnar, you have wandered into a pretty bad spot here. He's going to try to get out there with that Ghost Walk, and I think that's going to be enough for now. Brax, meanwhile, running interference with that Rolling Thunder, but they do get Gunnar back in with the pull. They're going to be able to take him down. Amisha gets the kill, but now Brax jumping in with the Swashbuckle will be able to drop a couple of those core heroes low. RoboZ gets taken down. Vitaly, meanwhile, he missed the spear because Elmisha went in for the disruption. The timing is wrong, and Brax is now just going to sort of clean house here. Vitaly taken down. Elmisha will be dropping as well. Gardic is wandering his way into the fight, but Ooh,
I think Brax got him.
this swashbuckle should hit, right? I mean, unless he's massively sort of mistimed or misplaced it.
But still, it's just a very, very bad situation for him. Storm, he had the dust. He was the hero that was the only one that was able to get vision there. 2 minutes pause time remaining as Admin's bearing down. But you've lost your Storm Spirit twice in a row. He did not get any time to farm in between both those deaths. So again, the Storm is sort of on the sideline, and he was able to meet up with Vitaly. And while you are taking out Gunner, Brax has had an absolutely free time. Lumiere rotated out. This is how Hokori likes to play, but for Zoomers, they're definitely going to put this pressure on the map. And Gardic, who would have loved to get his level 6 bottom, has to TP mid. And if he had overgrowth here, Brax is dead. The play is made. You get to finally get those rebuttal kills, but instead, there's no play to be made around the map. Every single hero is running away on the Hokori side except for Gardic, and he has to be careful himself. The supports are definitely strong enough to do something to him. And yeah,
Misho goes down. Now Gardic, he's going to get hit up by the enchant. He is so slow here.
Well, he's got swash again.
Okay, he's got the TP. Nope.
Nope.
Ocean would have canceled it anyway, but Brax is in there for the damage to get the kill. Triple kill for the Pango, and that one goes pretty horribly. They're at least able to get Husky and Gunner, but what they give up in exchange is way, way too expensive. 4-for-2 trade in for Zoomer's favor, and now they're putting pressure onto that tier 1 tower mid.
And they do see Sammy Boy farming their ancients, but again, this is time that Lumiere is not able to farm. This is time where RoboZ has now died twice. He TPs, or no, he's just walking around the map. He can't really find too many plays, but maybe the Ursa?
They're in onto Sammy. They get him with the stun from the spear.
Nice.
Okay. Good response there. They needed that kill. They will be able to pick up the gold, and it goes into RoboZ's hands as well. So, really the one hero that you, I think, need to get going right now more than anyone else.
And we'll have to see where Brax decides to play, because really, he is the hero. Once Gunner uses all of his 3 spells, he will be able to, or not be able to really get that much more aggressive. We're seeing him go for that Orchid build that we saw the other day, built up by I Annihilate, just lets him get that much more active versus the Storm Spirit, and that's where RoboZ will definitely need to be careful, because again and again, we keep seeing just heroes go mid versus the Invoker. They lose all of their mana, they take a little bit of damage, and then they need to use something to get it back. Fortunately enough, RoboZ did have that regen rune, but look at Misho. There's Brax.
Some trouble in the south side jungle. Zip in from RoboZ, though. Does get him into the fight. They'll throw out the overgrowth as well.
Ooh,
but I don't know about this. RoboZ doesn't have any mana left, and he's just going to get continuously hit up. Can they actually track him down? Yep, they get the lucky shot in there. Ocean's coming forward for the ice path, but the Storm just barely gets the mana to zip himself out. So he will be okay, but now Gardic has to TP out. He's going to be able to get himself away. That tornado didn't actually finish off RoboZ, but it got close. But all the while, Sammy just straight up took Roshan there. 11-minute Rosh attempt for him while his teammates were picking up kills elsewhere on the map. And now Vitaly going to get hit up. Misho stunned up as well here as they do connect with that ice path. But Lumiere's coming into the fight. He does have the ult, so they're going to try and fight this one out. But with Sammy into the fight, this could get a little bit hairy. They're at least going to jump in onto Brax first. They bring him down. Gunner, meanwhile, is actually trying to focus on the tower, and that's not going fantastically for him. RoboZ trying to track it down, but not able to take Gunner down in time. The tier 1 will fall. Now Sammy is going to push his way forward, but he's rapidly running out of HP as he will lose that Aegis. Vitaly, though, should be taken down in exchange, and now the Ursa is back into the fight, but I don't think there's much of a fight to get back to at this stage.
And all of this is time while you do instantly use that Aegis, more or less, you are still pretty much winning. They had to use everything. Unfortunately, Brax did die. That is where sort of Hokori do succeed, where you have the arena, you have the stone gaze, you have the spear to make somebody face that Medusa, and that's where one hero can die. But 4 Zoomers continue to really pick up speed everywhere else. It did feel like they went a little bit too soon. Maybe if they waited for a few more items or for the roll to just naturally be back up, that play would have been even more domineering. But at the same time, these heroes are not really finding the space to farm on Hokori. At least most of those kills are ending up on the Storm Spear, where RoboZ is able to salvage that Orchid timing a little bit, but he is still more or less a full Oblivion staff and the recipe away, so this is not your 12-13 minute Orchid where you can smoke up, maybe make an attempt on one of the other heroes. This is a much slower Storm, and you're going to have a Yule Scepter on the Pango too, so he's just going to be able to avoid it.
And it just feels like the timing here for Hokori is a little bit too off for them to hit the window that they want. Obviously, you still have to sort of make your progress towards those items, and maybe you can sort of get plays here and there, but whatever they get, it feels like 4 Zoomers are sort of building up just that little bit faster. As you see Gunner Also working on that Orchid, as we mentioned earlier on. He's a little bit closer than the Storm Spirit, and now that Pangolier does have the Yules. So it's going to be rough for Hokori to try and sort of make any plays happen right now, and this is where they need to be so incredibly careful. This sort of 15 to 20 minute span is where Four Zoomers can really try to break things open, while Lumiere is still not online. So would not be surprised if we see Four Zoomers try to get a little bit more aggressive. Even with the Aegis no longer in Sammy Boy's hands, they can make some moves here as they're sort of eyeing up that bottom lane. Vitalia is going to hide in the tree line right now, but even if they can't get onto him, they could try to pressure up the tower.
And really, it's not the first Aegis. We keep on seeing when Sammy Boy, again, he makes this rotation, and actually, they're just looking for Vitaly. They are certain he's down here with the scan. Oh, he missed the spear, so...
Spear won't connect. Vitaly's in trouble. Good disruption from Elmisha, though. Gonna sort of reset this fight a little bit, but the tornado comes through, and he's still in some trouble. Swashbuckle comes in onto him as well, and even the enchant now deployed by Husky. So Vitaly really isn't going anywhere. He's got to stand his ground, and I don't think he's going to be able to make it out. They're just going to hit him up and take him down. Okay, Swashbuckle there doesn't connect, but that final right click comes through from Gunner. They will find the kill, and Elmisha maybe in some trouble. Does Husky have the enchant again in about 1 second? And he is going to throw it down. His teammates are moving their way in. Brax pushing forward with the Swashbuckle. That's going to prompt another disruption. But Elmisha should still be going down here. But by this point, we do see reinforcements arriving. But RoboZ immediately going to get hit up by the Cold Snap. So he may be in some trouble. No, he's going to be able to sort of purge that away. But he is still very low on HP. They're looking for Brax. Can they lock him down? Not just yet. The Yule Scepter comes in. Swashbuckle deployed as well. Into the deafening. Oh, they can't get anything. And RoboZ, he's out of mana. He's just going to straight up die here. Brax is still alive. The man will not go down.
And this is why you saw RoboZ being so hesitant to come. That's why Lumiere didn't come. And it felt like there was just that little bit of a disconnect where I can't do this. Do I need to do this? Okay, I'm already here. Let's try to get at least one kill. And it's the raindrops. It's having the Yule Scepter this early, having this Pango be the top net worth hero.
Oh,
it just feels incredibly unfortunate. And that's the Orchid reveal. Goodbye.
Yep. There's going to be the burn. Ocean gets the kill, and yeah, they just turn around and they walk away. They put their shades on, and they didn't even need to be there for that kill. As they pick off the Mars, and as you said, it's a sad kill. Four Zoomer certainly happy with it, but if you're Hokori, it's just indicative of where you are in the game right now. They're just not able to do a whole lot, and Gardic, you might want to back up here. He's going to get hit by the Cold Snap and the Silence, but they won't go all in for that one. At the end of the day, that is just a treant. Ooh. If that tornado hit, actually, maybe they would have gone in for it. But all the while, they continue to apply pressure here. That tier 2 is really getting quite the beating delivered. The siege creep is here to help it out. So there's no glyph here either from Hokori. They're just straight up not going to be able to defend this.
And this is something usually we talk about with Treant Protector and Beastmaster, but because you're playing these heroes on the Radiant side, you don't have that much space to work with. You literally don't have as many trees. It's way easier to find you and pick you off. And with Gardic's build, this is the build where you sit in the lane, you anchor down, and you try to get your levels and push out those creep waves, so the living armor isn't there. So Four Zoomers are just taking full.
Okay, that may have been a little bit too ambitious there for Sammy. Didn't realize he was surrounded until it's too late, and he's gone. He thought he had the 1v1 there. Unfortunately, he was mistaken. Gunner, though, trying to push in. Tornado only hitting onto illusions, I believe, and without that tornado connection, it looks like Four Zoomers are going to fall back. So, taking advantage of a bit of a mistake there. Sammy gets a little bit ambitious. Thought, again, he had the 1v1 against the Medusa. Instead, it's about a 1v5, and he does get punished. So, if you're Hokori, honestly, that's a gift, and it is going to get them a little bit of extra time here. Now, they're sort of eyeing up the middle lane, potentially looking for a fight. They've hit up Husky with that disruption, and that will be enough for the kill. Husky taken down as well.
It's those little advantages that they're just continuing to get here and there. And Vitaly, once you have this Blink Dagger, again, we see this Mars so effective versus the Invoker, where you take the immobile hero, you put him in the arena, there's not much he can do, and that's where if you are getting one kill every single arena, if it is on the Invoker, you're going to be very satisfied. But, oh, RoboZ, it's just the Yule setup coming in from the Pango. It's perfectly played, don't even need to use the roll.
Yeah. Yule's into Swashbuckle. Gunner actually sniped it out there with the weakest Sunstrike possible. 1 point up in the Exort, but he does manage to sort of get it there. So RoboZ continues to struggle. Vitaly caught out as well. He's going to get silenced up. EMP burns away any semblance of mana. Tornado even puts him up in the air. You just might as well take your hands off the keyboard at this point. He just did not get to participate in that fight as Brax brings him down. And that is kill number 19 for Four Zoomers in 18 minutes. This is just really brutal, the pace that they're putting together.
And 50 gold away from the Blink Dagger, you can't blame him for trying, but still, they're just sitting on their high grounds, getting up this aggressive vision. They're playing in 3 lanes at the same time, and that's where the Storm Spirit needs to find those little openings, like Sammy Boy being alone in the triangle, or maybe it's Ocean pushing in bottom. But if they aren't able to find those picks fast enough, this game is going to quickly spiral out of control, especially once Roche starts being a factor again, because it's going to respawn in just a few moments here. Of course, the earlier the respawn, the more it favors the Zoomers, but now we'll see what Salmon Boy decides to go for. He's just getting that Sanjin Yasha up. He could turn around after the Yasha for a Blink Dagger, because it just feels like they could get so much more aggressive on their side of the map. Hokori really don't have those defensive tools yet, but Vitaly has Blink. That is the silver lining. You can get on top of the Invoker. You are going to be able to kill him. They really need to find these plays really now or never.
And if they can take Gunner sort of out of the fight, if they can just sort of remove that Invoker quickly, then a lot of the follow-up lockdown from 4Zoomer's lineup is just sort of going to be stripped away. So that could be the gateway to a much stronger teamfight performance from them, but we'll have to wait and see. They do actually have to connect onto Gunner first, and obviously Gunner's not going to make it easy for him. He's got a Blink Dagger of his own here, so he's going to be quite a bit more mobile with that Blink online.
Yeah, and that's where maybe you need the Shadow Demon to get something to tick it off, because if he is able to blink out of that arena, your play is dead. Everything is about this arena and Vitaly. If he whiffs really on that sort of penultimate jump, that is going to be team fight over. We need to run, we need to back. This goes from an aggressive Stone Gaze to if I don't have Stone Gaze, I'm dying to this Ursa in Lumiere. You need to be so careful.
He is dangerously forward there, but okay, Hokori are going to lean into it. Full 5-man smoke. They're looking for the fight. Lumiere will lead the charge. They're going to get right in onto Ocean, though. He will be able to break
positioning. Brutal.
And do they go for it anyway? Well, they sort of try to, but Omisho's going to get hit up right away. He does get off the Purge, and they do connect with the Spear Stun in onto Sammy, so they will be able to bring him down. Omisho, though, does get taken out in exchange, and now this lineup is sort of getting a little bit split up, as Robo-Z will be caught. Eul Scepter's there into the Ice Path. Can they lock him down in time? Yes, they can. Robo-Z taken down, and without him, I think this is fallback time. They don't have Stone Gaze, and they don't have that Storm for zip in and damage, but the fight actually still going. Brax wants forward, but the Ice Path does come out. It's going to catch out Gardic. The Euls, meanwhile, puts Vitaly up in the air. They burn away the mana with the EMP, and he's just on the run. Lumiere's going to try to come in to help, but I'm not really sure if he wants to be in this fight now, as another Ice Path comes through, locking down two, but that's more to get Brax away from the fight, as he will make his retreat.
And buyback comes out. Oh, El Misho. Gunner might not have enough damage here, actually.
Yeah, hold up, Gunner.
I don't think he realized how close Vitaly was. He was not showing there for a little bit, but okay. It's the little misplays. You're playing versus a Medusa. You can't really afford to give those up if you're 4Zoomers, but still, it's very convincing. Being able to get Robo-Z again, the Storm Spirit continues to struggle, continues to die. I really hope this isn't a Eul Scepter he's buying. Yeah, I should have switched up for the BKB. You buy a Eul Scepter versus a Jakiro, you're just going to cry. And he's going to have a Eul Scepter of his own on that Jakiro, and we see already how effective those Ice Paths are, whether it's landing on the Medusa just over and over, or on the Mars. Up until Medusa gets that BKB, everything is really just about Vitaly, whether or not he's able to get that instant disable, and in that instance, you're continuing to punish Sammy Boy, so feels good, man. But again, with Roche respawning, now all of the focus is going to shift to that top side of the map. And with 4Zoomers, with the heroes they have, they can sort of continue to push in those 2 lanes and continue to get that net worth advantage. But really, Hokori, they need to find that sort of ace in the hole. But
that's a problem. Robo-Z hit up by the silence. Sammy Boy's in for the damage. Can they get it? Yes, they can. Robo-Z taken down. The counter Orchid play did come through, but that really doesn't matter.
Okay.
And yeah, Misho, he's going to get out. That Sunstrike can't quite spot him. So quick TP gets him home, but honestly, if you're 4Zoomers, you got the kill you wanted. You take down the Storm, and now Sammy, he's back into the pit.
Yep, and that's all you need. He might try and be a little bit annoying with the Nature's Grasp. It does do a pretty decent amount of damage, but with the Solar Crest finished up on Husky, man, he is always so farmed on this Enchantress. It is just dead.
He's got a Vanguard and a Solar Crest at 22 minutes. That doesn't feel like that should be a thing, but there it is. Ocean as well. We talked about his farm. He's finishing off that Eul Scepter. He already had the Aether Lens, so the supports here on the side of 4Zoomers are really getting themselves going, and at this point, they're sort of on par with Vitaly's farm as Lumiere. Oof. I mean, he's going to get away, but that's your Stone Gaze used in a relatively sort of casual manner. Sammy just kind of pushes in. He didn't really have to commit too much there, and you push that Medusa back. So four Zoomers sort of seem to have their opponents on the back foot here. We'll see just how sort of hard they now push into that Hokori lineup.
And it really is the benefit of that 4.5 style. Everybody gets farmed, nobody is sort of put down into the pits, so you do see those luxury items being built. Haven't seen Crimson Guard in quite a while, but versus the Medusa, you know, she doesn't have that chip damage. But yeah, Robo-Z.
That's an interesting one from Brax, but yeah, they're still in onto the Mars. Sammy's going to jump over the wall, and Vitaly, yeah, he's dead. Already used the spear, not going to be able to use it to protect himself there from the bears. He will be taken down, and now Brax actually kind of clipped El Misho there as well with that swashbuckle, but not enough for four Zoomers to go in. The tier 2 tower is still just sitting right there, so they don't really want to spend too much time underneath that tier 2 just yet, but they find the kill. They take the Mars out of the equation. That's pretty much the sort of primary initiator on the Hokori side, unless Robo-Z just wants to dash his way in there, but without him, they really can't afford to do too much right now, and the tier 2 tower is going to slowly get chipped away at again.
And you do have to be incredibly careful because you do have that blink you'll set up. Brax is just deciding, yeah, he's teaming to the outpost for Gardic.
Yep.
Just stuck out too far.
Nothing he can do. Gunner sets it up. Brax comes in to help out, so another pick going the way of four Zoomers. They just keep the ball rolling here, and now is when I would like to see them maybe focus a little bit more on just taking complete control of this map. Those final tier 2 towers are sort of theirs for the taking. If they can get in there and really just sort of wipe out this last little bit of a foothold outside of their own base, then Hokori are just going to be kind of SOL to a certain extent. They're just not going to be able to find the farm that they need. Maybe they could get enough for one core, but certainly not for, you know, both the Medusa and the Storm.
Oh, and they're trying to make a plan to what a blink. Oof. And then immediately turned on. Gunner might get punished here, but
Spear Stun will connect, and they will be able to take him down, but now Brax in with the roll. Robo-Z low on mana, now low on HP as well. Can he somehow get away? No. Sammy jumps in with the Earthshock, will be able to find the kill. Now Vitaly going to get sort of slowed down a bit, but he was able to blink himself back, so he's okay for now. Actually looking to reinitiate as he misses with the stun, and now Sammy is going to charge his way forward. Vitaly's in some serious trouble here, but the Stone Gaze comes out from Lumiere. He's going to try and force his way into the middle of this one, and he does lock down those two supports. Vitaly, though, is really not in a good spot. Sammy's going to slow him up again with the Diffusal. They'll take him down, and now they turn their attention on the Medusa. The BKB, though, was activated, but he doesn't have any mana. Gardic coming in to save the day, though, with the Overgrowth. He's going to be able to keep his teammate alive, but Gardic himself is assuredly dead there, as Sammy will take him down, and the four Zoomers will win the fight. They do sacrifice Gunner, but 4 kills go their way, and they're back in onto that tier 2 tower again.
And you had to use the BKB. You really need that double BKB coming out from both Robo-Z and Vitaly to ever stand a chance of these fights. There's just too much lockdown coming in from the backline. Really, Ocean has been so obnoxious with all of these ice paths, all of these Yules, all of these setups. And even Brax, he has a Diffusal of his own. He's so annoying to every single hero on the Hokori side, and up until you get that BKB, the Storm Spirit just has no mana to work with. He has to get it because there's an Orchid on the field. He can't play Dota without it, but you're not building towards that mana pool where it still feels like you're gonna struggle to make plays. And as soon as those kills go down, then you lose both your outer towers that before still feels like it's hard for them to take on the four Zoomers side. Because you have Ursa and Invoker, your siege is not great. It'll never be great, and breaking high ground is still going to be a little bit problematic, but you have 90% of the map available to you now. You're always able to find these picks in the side lanes, and for Zoomers, they might just decide to wait for that third Rosh. Aegis is going to tick out in 40 seconds, but they really can do that. They can wait for next Rosh, farm up, get 6 slotted on all their heroes, and there's not much that Hokori can do aside from those small plays with the arena. But as soon as they expend those ultimates, immediately they're going to get turned on. The biggest thing coming out for them right now is just Lumiere is getting closer and closer to that level 20 where that Mystic Snake is going to be that ever more impactful for him. Going to be able to get 800 mana really per hero. But again, you have those stacks that are always going to be ticking up from the Ursa. It feels like four Zoomers have really gotten the strategy down to play against this hero.
Yeah, they just appear right now to be almost entirely in control. As you said, they don't really have that sort of battering ram kind of hero to get through the high ground, but if they can continue finding kills like this, then I feel like they're just going to be able to slowly sort of chip away at their opponents as Gunner gets the kill. Robo-Z, though, zipping in. They're going to be able to hit up onto Ocean, but they can't kill him off just yet. They are trying to take this fight, though, but look at that. Tornado in onto 3. There's going to be the ice path thrown down as well, and Robo-Z, he is just straight up dead. Robo-Z taken down. Ocean will fall in exchange, though, but at this point, it really doesn't matter. They're just getting completely wiped out. Vitali will fall in the back line, and Lumiere is the last man standing, forced to fall back, but Sammy doesn't want to let him go. Pushing forward. The Stone Gaze, though, will come through, but
He's in
Sammy's
front of him.
not quite for long enough as he was able to sort of get out in front, but I mean, at this point, if you're Hokori, what do you have left to fight with? There's a buyback out from Vitali now, but is that enough? This push is going to be coming in. Four Zoomers are sort of healing up outside of the outside of the base, as Brax is getting hit up by both the attendants and that urn. So they know that they have an opportunity. They're going to push in for the tier 3. Brax is even trying to sort of run interference on that backline while Sammy just hacks away at the tower, but they're not going to be able to get it fully just yet. And Brax, he's looking for the TP. He does have the shield crash. Maybe he can get over the wall. Nope, hit up by the spear instead, and he's not dead yet. Can he actually do this? This would be incredible. He's getting away. Swashbuckle getting him out, but Robo-Z,
no mana.
not going to let him go. Brax just can't get himself out of there. So Hokori will eventually run him down. Unfortunate play for Brax as he sort of gets caught out, but at least the rest of the lineup takes that time to just sort of back off.
And that's where, again, for Zoomers, they are not good at hitting buildings. They really need to wait for their timing. They need to wait to kill these heroes again. But they cover each other so well. Of course, you have the slight misplay there where he did not swashbuckle to the low ground. He kind of just swashed in place, and then he definitely got punished for it on the Pango. But that's all you lose. You just lose a Pango. Everybody else is still firing up quite a lot. Unfortunately, with Brax off the field, they can push out a little bit more than they otherwise have been able to. But the cover that comes out from four Zoomers, if they don't want to commit those BKBs on Hokori, and it feels like they really can't casually, then you can always save your teammates. You have the Tornado, you have the Yule Scepters, you have the Rolling Thunder. It's so hard for them to ever find a convincing fight. And really, as this game goes on, it is just more and more going to be up to Lumiere. And Vitali.
Yeah, he is caught out here in the river. Just can't move. Standing on top of the ice wall. They got him with the cold snap there initially as well. So really, he didn't have any options. He was just sort of forced to stand his ground, and Gunnar was able to take him down. Double-digit kills now for Gunnar on this Invoker, despite still not having the highest sort of exort count. So he's been able to make some serious moves right now, and it's a large part of the reason why four Zoomers just keep this momentum going for themselves.
El Misho needs to be so careful, but not careful enough.
He's caught. Silence in, stun on top, easy kill. Gunnar picks it up again with the help of Ocean, and if you're Hokori, really, you can't afford to be that far forward, or at least not on some of those low mobility heroes. Maybe the Disruptor, or excuse me, not the Disruptor, the Shadow Demon could have saved himself with a blink, but didn't get it off in time. Gunnar, with his own blink, is just able to sort of jump in first, and you really can't afford those kinds of deaths right now as they're trying to sort of claw their way back into the game.
And we'll see Roshan is going to respawn in a minute 48. And really, as this game has progressed, this Jakiro hero feels so much stronger. You have the Liquid Frost up now. You have that 110 attack speed slow coming out from the Liquid Fire. And really, that hurts the Storm so much. He has his BKB finally, but if he ever sticks around after that BKB has already been committed, there is nothing you can do. There is nothing he can do. And that's where I think Zoomers, again, as soon as all 5 heroes are up, they push in all of the waves. They're playing literally everywhere. Everyone is getting farm. Husky will probably see him go for that Dragonlance. He has that full completed Crimson. They've got so many levels. I'm sure the XP graph is out of control. Where for Zoomers, it feels like they just have everything. It feels like they can just wait. Whereas Hokori still struggle to even get out past where their tier 2s would be.
I was not content to wait eons.
Oh boy. We've gotten to this part in the game. Gunnar feels confident enough to start throwing out the all-chat voice lines. That's always fun, but I mean, can't really blame him. Right now, they're just sort of playing the waiting game. They're farming up, they're maintaining control of the map, but now we do see Ocean going to try to make a move, going in with the Ice Path. He does hit up Vitali, but Elmisho was able to hit him with the Purge, and this may have been a slight mistake. Ocean used everything he had to get into the fight. Now he's not able to get out. Good play in there as Vitali finds the kill, but Gunnar, he wants his revenge. Going in, dropping the silence. They're going to bring in Sammy as well. The Robo-Z zip in, though, will get him onto the back line. The problem is, oh my god, he has no HP. He's just getting absolutely blown up. Sammy finds the kill. Lumiere, though, pop the BKB. He's going to have to try and fight this one out, and it looks like for now, they are holding relatively well. Gunnar's been taken down. Sammy is low in... well, low as well. Can he somehow get away? Vitali's trying to track him down. Does he have the spear? Not for a few more seconds. So Sammy was able to fall back. Meanwhile, Gardic does get sort of finished off on the back line, but that's not really going to be a major kill being given up, as Husky will now be caught. Braxo's back into the fight. He's looking to keep it going. Swashbuckle in onto the Mars. They hit him up with the Diffuser Blade here as well for the follow-up slow, and Now, Vitaly should be going down. He's not going to be able to survive. Now Sammy wants back in. He's in onto Lumiere. Is this really a fight that he's going to be able to win? Well, if he has help, yeah.
Oh, but the disarm.
Brax is in there. The disarm comes through. It was a nice snake, as you mentioned, sort of getting a little bit more mana into the shield. The problem is, I mean, Brax and Husky are sort of there to back their teammate up. Sammy survives, and now he's going into the pit again. Third Roche of the game here for him.
And they just got kited so hard without the BKB. There's nothing they can do. They don't really have the best lockdown in the first place for Brax. And while you did get Gunner, you burned through his Aeon Disc, you kept him locked down in that arena. It just comes at the worst possible time. And now you even have a Mage Slayer up on Brax, so all of that magic damage coming out from your heroes, if that debuff is on you, then your SD is going to feel less impactful, then Gardeck's going to feel less impactful. And really, they just don't have a solution to this Pangolier. And, I mean, bottom, sure, he made a mistake, he died, whatever. He's coming up on 25. Brax has just completely dominated this game. I don't think he's really ever slowed down except for that one death.
Yeah, it's been nearly flawless to this point, and 31,000 to net worth ahead at the 34-minute mark. I mean, I'm not sure what Hokori can really do at this point. It feels like they're just biding their time and hoping for a mistake from their opponents. That really does seem like the easiest way back in for them. A lot of their own agency in this match has sort of been stripped out of their hands. So maybe it happens.
Ooh,
maybe
Gardeck.
Zoomers sort of take their eye off the prize for a minute, but it doesn't look like that's the case. Brax is in onto Gardeck. They're going to hit him up with the Deafening Blast as well into the Cold Snap, and Brax is there for the damage as they will find the kill. So Gardeck will be taken down. He does have a buyback available, though. Actually, the only buyback currently available on that Hokori side. So if it does come down to another fight, they will be able to get him back into it, but the Zoomers are really just doing anything and everything that they want at this moment in time.
And that's where the mistakes could start to show up in the Zoomers lineup. That's where heroes like Storm Spirit, like Mars, do feel very impactful, but Vitaly is dead to Gunner top solo. It just feels so bad.
Boy, oh boy.
Man. And now this is an opportunity. Two heroes are dead. They can definitely make an attempt at bottom. They still need to get onto Lumiere. If Brax isn't sticking on him the entire time, then there is still sort of an issue, but here's sort of the genius of the last pick Jakiro, where you do have that sort of guaranteed hero push. You're able to burn through that living armor just that little bit more. And OL Misho, he went in forward.
That may have been a mistake. He's going to get hit up now by the tornado. The impetus shot's coming out as well, and he has no way out of this. He's just straight up dead. Sammy Boy brings him down. Brax, meanwhile, he's rolling his way onto the backline. He has eyes on Gardeck. They're going to try and take him down as well. And that is going to be both the supports dead, and now the Medusa's in some trouble. But Gardeck will buy back. RoboZ's going to zip in here as well. They are trying to make this play happen, and they are doing a fair bit of damage as Sammy will be taken down, but that's just going to be the Aegis. He's coming back up. His teammates, meanwhile, regrouping, looking to sort of push in to help him if they need to. But Brax, though, he's going straight in. They want Gardeck a second time. The Treant really doesn't have anything to contribute here as he will be taken down, but RoboZ's in, zipping forward. Going to be able to pull in Brax with that Electric Vortex.
Nice.
The roll-up was there momentarily, but it wasn't actually enough. Brax taken down. He'll buy back quickly as well. Lumiere, meanwhile, pops the BKB, pops the Stone Gaze, pushes forward. Vitaly's in with the arena as well. They're trying to just lock down anything that they can here, but they really don't have anyone right now. Sammy Boy is low. Maybe they could bring him down. He needs to try and lifesteal his way out of this, and for right now, he's actually not dead yet. He's just going to hold his ground. They take down RoboZ. They take down Vitaly. RoboZ, though, buying back, zipping in, able to get the kill onto the Ursa, but now they've got to protect the Medusa, putting her under with the disruption. That's going to buy a little bit of time. Lumiere, though, is just getting completely shoved back. RoboZ, however, zipping onto the backline. Going to be able to take down Gunner. They've taken away one. Lumiere, though, does go down, and now Brax, he's back in. Rolling Thunder activated again. Vitaly dropping. Vitaly will be taken down, and all of a sudden, your Storm Spirit basically by himself. Okay. Almisho in with the disruption, trying to save this for now. RoboZ, though, out of mana.
And that's it. That's game. They bought back on both their cores. Almisho's just gonna, yeah. Man, Ocean, what a absolute monster. He got, I can't even see the recap, but 7 or 8 or something crazy like that ice paths in that fight. They never got onto the Jakiro. They never even respected it. And after that BKB committed from Lumiere, sure, you get the Ursa, you have to buy back on Storm to get it, but they kept that fight going for so long, and they're not GGing out, but this is assuredly just over for Zoomers. Just standout performances from really every single player. What a wild game, to be honest. Ocean and Brax, real MVPs though. That was just working.
By the way, at final count in that fight, was able to check it. 8 ice paths, 6 dual breaths in that fight. That's just Absolutely ridiculous how much he was able to do. Brax, as you mentioned as well, pushes in, dies, buys back, rejoins immediately, and they're just able to create so much chaos. The rest of the lineup can just push in for really anything that they wanted there, and Four Zoomer is just too strong at that point.
And they just strike at the perfect moment. There are carts hitting the buildings the entire time. If you ever felt like you needed to back, you could have at any point, but Hokori just kept on having to dive deeper and deeper and deeper, and you never get on the Jakiro. He's going to keep punishing you. You are not very mobile, and after those BKBs, no shot. No shot Hokori can do anything. Just textbook for Zoomers. I mean, it was a chaotic game. There were so many spells that needed to be cast, that needed to be laid down, but man, it just felt like they were invincible.
Yeah, it just felt like they had the time to throw everything out there while all that chaos is being formed. They just sort of sit back, they reload, they go in again, and that constant sort of back and forth, that push and pull that Four Zoomers were pulling off kept Hokori off balance pretty much every single time. And really, outside of Lumiere, 4-3 and 12 on the Medusa, that's not bad. Everyone else, though, struggling massively.
Yeah, and you can't afford many deaths on Dusa. If you're dying a lot on Dusa, game's probably over. But literally everyone on their team, specifically the Storm Spirit, again, stand-in, Robo-Z, first time they're playing with him here, but man, everybody just, it felt like they were the corpses that Lumiere needed to stand upon to even have a shot in that game. But still, for Zoomers, they found every single punishment in every single lane. They just played 3 lanes up until they had such, I think that was 30k advantage at the end there. Just by the books, easy game for them.
Easy indeed, showing off why they're really the top seed in this tournament. They were playing at this level in the group stage, and they just keep it going here in Game 1 against Hokori. So, more of the same from Four Zoomers. We see them just march their way to a Game 1 victory, and now they're going to be looking for the chance to 2-0 their opponents here, try and advance to that upper bracket final to face off against Undying. But Hokori are still going to have their shot at this. Obviously, Game 1 doesn't quite go the way that they want it to, but there is a shot at redemption. Game 2 gives them that chance. We'll see what sort of changes they put together to try and get something stronger, something that's not going to fall behind sort of this early on and struggle to catch back up. So we are going to be hopping into a bit of a break, but when we return, we'll be getting into Game 2 between Four Zoomers and Hokori.